We haven't recorded in so long.
I know. Dude, last week felt so weird. One, like not recording, and two, just like not really talking that much, only either like on TikTok a bit or on Snapchat. It just felt very weird. It was nice just to be in the sunshine
Mhm.
for a little bit. I mean, we didn't do like anything while we were down there. My dad worked some, but
Mhm.
I laid down by the pool every single day and read every single day, and it was like
Mm.
honestly just the
That
perfect thing.
sounds so nice.
It was. Yeah, and like flying felt fine. Like they're really
Mhm.
strict with masks and everything.
Yeah.
And like I didn't like obviously it was not like the safest as like it is just sitting in your house, but it did feel like relatively safe.
That's
So
good.
yeah, it was like I was anxious about that, but it ended up being okay. And it ended
Good.
up being like so good that my dad decided to stay another week. So he's still
Yeah.
down there. And I flew back by myself yesterday. Um but I if I would have taken my work laptop, I might have stayed down there because I could have probably like recorded from my phone. But
Yeah.
it was just like too last minute of a change of plan. And you know how I am about like
Yeah.
the plan last minute that it didn't jive with me. So
Yeah, no, I get that. I wouldn't have been able to do that either.
and I was kind of ready to be home and I move in now
Mhm.
like a couple of weeks. Like I have a lot to do.
Yeah. I was thinking
So
about that. I was like, damn, she's gonna like get back from vacation and like have to kind of get
get
ready
it
to go.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think I mean, it's not like I have a strict timer on this episode. I'm just hoping that we can be done by like 11:30 because my mom
Oh,
and I are
yeah.
gonna go mattress shopping.
I doubt
How's
it.
your week been?
Good. It's kind of been a blur. I don't even really I'm just like so busy with work and then this film that Kyra and I are doing and then I had the two job interviews. Yeah. So just it kind of went by like really fast, but also this past Monday feels like a really long time ago, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
it
I wish
does.
but yeah, I've been good. I feel great. I just upped my dosage on my anxiety medicine.
That's always a good time.
So my appetite is a little wonky. I've been sleeping like a lot. I feel like I could sleep all day, every day.
Mm.
I can't sometimes remember if things were dreams or if they actually happened. And like sometimes my dreams will be very outrageous, so it's obvious that they didn't happen. But then sometimes it's like hard to distinguish what was a dream.
Yeah.
Um, so that's been like really weird. I don't know. I had an appointment with my doctor and I was telling her about that and she's like, it's probably fine. It's just like if we up your dosage and it gets worse, like let me know. It's like, okay.
That's
I mean,
comforting. Thanks.
it's like with all the side effects that could potentially come from the medicine that I'm on, it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Um and I don't even know if it's from the medicine necessarily, like it's not necessarily from that, so I don't know. But that Britney Spears documentary,
I want to watch that. Was it good?
yeah, dude, I wanted to talk about that on the pre-show because it kind
Okay.
of ties into like what we're discussing today, which is like women in the film industry and like TV industry, but this is like women in the entertainment industry, so it doesn't really fit with the episode, but I thought I would bring it up on here. I'm just very disturbed. I love Britney. I've always loved her since I was like literally 5 years old. I was shaking my little ass to fucking Britney Spears because my parents got me a Barbie croaky machine. That's what I called it. It was a karaoke machine. um, and it had like a bunch of her songs on there. And I would just jam the fuck out. And once I like discovered the internet, I looked up all her videos and like learned all her
Oh
dances,
my god.
which is like probably not great, but um yeah, just watching that documentary and like looking at the way the industry like treats women, especially, I mean, I know the industry isn't necessarily kind to anyone, but you know how the prison system kind of feels like modern day slavery and like a loophole for incarcerating black people and
Mhm.
getting them to do labor for nothing. I don't know why I just said that so nonchalantly. That's like really bad, obviously. But it like this whole conservatorship thing and like deeming women to be mentally unfit to handle their own finances because
Mhm.
it's only happening to women, um like famous women. It's not famous men that this is happening to. Like it feels like modern day, I don't even know, but like when women used to be put in mental institutions for like speaking their mind, or
Yeah.
just women not being allowed, like I don't even know when, but it's pretty relatively recent that women are allowed to like own their own property without having their husband's signature, or like
Mhm.
women being in control of their own finances is relatively recent. And
Having
like,
bank accounts.
yeah. Yeah, so it just feels like a modern day again like loophole to get around that, and it's I don't know, she's mentally sound enough to be like I don't want my dad in control of my finances, and she wants a bank to be in control of it. Which,
Mhm.
like, yeah, that makes sense. And I think Amanda Bynes is in the same situation, which is like, why is it my bitches that I just love?
It really is. Leave Britney alone.
But dead ass, like,
He was
ugh,
onto something. He was ahead of the time.
he was like, just that documentary and the way that, like, that whole Justin Timberlake thing and how he, like, his image was protected and he just so easily, like, manipulated her image and, like,
In the documentary, how it goes about like exploring his um like involvement in the whole situation, and I want to watch it and see like learn more about that because I just think Justin Timberlake is super sketch and he just seems like a shitty guy. So I'm
yeah.
not a fan.
I've never been a fan. I've never understood the hype. Um, I don't understand why he has performed at the Super Bowl 2 times.
Yeah.
It's like who is this guy's fan base? Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because it's been heavy on my mind this week.
Yeah.
And I'm rewarding myself for finishing the pod today. With Billy's new documentary that came out
Uh,
Thursday night. Yeah, I'm gonna watch that tonight.
do you have anything else for the pre-show? Haven't watched The Bachelor yet, so I can't comment on that.
Oh my god. I thought I
Except
was
that Rachel face planted. Not
yeah.
saying not saying that she deserved it, but I'm just saying that God's timing is always right.
I so the week before this past one, I was like, Jack and I were both like, we're done. Like, this is the worst season of The Bachelor by far.
Yeah, it
But
kinda sucks.
I've never seen Ari's season, so I can't speak on that. But like, personally, for me, all the ones that I've watched, the combination of like, we have the first Black Bachelor, and then all this fucking shit with Chris Harrison and Rachel, like, I'm just so over that whole thing. And that in combination with him sending every decent girl home.
Who do you send home for hometowns? I don't care if you
Serena
spoil it.
P sent herself home.
Oh,
So
go
then we
her.
had this dumb ass rose ceremony where he just gave all three of them roses.
And I don't need to watch the episode. Honestly, I don't care about. I'm not
Yeah.
invested in any of these people.
That's I like you spent way too much time on all the bitchy like mean girls and now no one gives a fuck about like honestly Michelle and Bree seem like really decent people, but I'm at the point where it's like they deserve better, you know?
Mhm.
And I feel like I kind of get to that point with every Bachelor season, honestly.
I think my favorite season that I've seen was Nick Biles' season. I
Yeah.
just really like him, and I liked a lot of his women on that season. And
Yeah.
again, we had like a good balance of drama, but also like genuinely learning about the people. And
Yeah.
I liked Ari's season mostly because of the women. I thought the women on that season were really great. Like we had Kendall, both of the Beccas, CN. Like we just had a lot of good ladies on that season where this season I'm like, some of these women are great, but most of them are not. So I just
Yeah. When he sent Abigail and Chelsea home, I was like,
yeah.
why? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
And why did they not just cut out Heather coming altogether? Like literally what was the point of that? She showed up, got annihilated by these women, and then sent home like 30 minutes probably later than she arrived. It was just a waste of time. A waste of my time, a waste of her time, a waste of everyone's time.
It just feels like rude. Like, you really think that that's going to be entertaining for me, seeing bullying on fucking reality live TV? Like, I felt kind of insulted by that as a viewer of the show. Like, there's a difference between drama and just straight bullying, and like, it was horrendous. It was not fun to watch at all. We don't have to speak on it anymore. It's fucking garbage. They need a serious rebrand. That's all I gotta say.
End it, cut it there. Should we jump into the episode then?
Let's fucking jump in.
Pre-show. Let me pull up GarageBand.
I haven't showered and I look a little crusty but gusty, but it's fine.
I haven't even showered since I flew in last night because I got in and then I had to drive home because I flew into Milwaukee. And then by the time I got home, it was like 9:30 and I was just dead fucking tired. So I haven't showered. I traveled yesterday and I feel gross. But
I haven't even brushed my teeth today, if we're being honest. Jack is gone, so
walk my dog. Where's he at?
He has his first baseball game today.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I know. I'm so excited. I wish I could be there, but it's in fucking Minnesota. So I wasn't about to drive there on my day off.
Yeah. If he has any games around, like somewhere around here, and if you want someone to go with, just let me know. I'd go with.
Yeah, I know. And like next weekend they're playing in Illinois. So I'm like, come on. And I work like every weekend. So I'm really itching to hopefully have a game like here at St. Norbert so I can go.
Yeah. I'm so excited for your birthday. I'm going to order your present.
Dude.
I'm so excited for your present. I think you're going to really like it and I'm excited.
Dude, it's literally all I can think about.
It's going to be so fun. All right, recording in 3, 2, 1.
Oh, fuck. I had the fucking metronome on.
Okay.
Buckle up.
Because it's going to be a long ride.
It's going to be a wild ride.
No one cares, but we're going to tell you anyways.
This is Popcorn Chats.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to Popcorn Chats. I'm MICHAE.
And I'm Katie.
And it has been a hot minute since we recorded. I mean, it's the same exact time for you every single Monday. You know how it goes. But for us, it's been a long time. It's March. It's a new month. Well, it's not March yet, but it will be March.
It's Pisces season, motherfucker! Yeah! It's my time. It's my time. Swim, little fishy, in the sea.
It's Katie's birthday month. In case you couldn't tell from that little display there. Very exciting. Since it's March, it's also International Women's Month. So we got a jam-packed month full of women content. And we're super excited.
Hell yeah, bitch.
So today we're just going to be talking about some of our favorite women in the film and television industry, from on-screen, off-screen, both. A lot of women do both because you kind of have to if you want to be in this industry. Men can kind of skate by with doing the bare minimum.
Oh, bitch.
You know, women gotta pick it up. So anyways, first off though, before we jump in, Katie, how are you?
I'm good. Feeling... Yeah, just good. It actually has been a long time since we did a catch up because on 50 Shades, that was like early February. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah.
Guys, I am in the running for a dream job. So please manifest that I get it. I'm just anxiously awaiting to hear back. Also, I have a film coming out on Saturday, March 6th. Be prepared. It's $10 to rent. It's called Know About Us. It is a dance film. It's super sick. If you're into dance, if you're not into dance, watch it because it's going to be dope as hell. $10 to rent, $20 to own and buy and have forever. And you can be like, I bought Katie Healy's, one of her first films. And it goes to an amazing organization started by my friend Kyra Johnson. She started KLJ Movement, which is a dance company that is working to uplift and empower BIPOC dancers in the Madison area. It's like a space for people of color and dancers who are not always celebrated in the dance community. I'm not part of the dance community, so I don't know too much about it, but I think just like most institutions, people of color are not always celebrated. So it's an incredible cause and organization, and they're trying to get a permanent space in Madison to start doing classes for people. I really believe in it, and Kyra is like the dopest person, and I loved filming her and all of these really talented dancers. So please rent it. You can follow KL Jam on Facebook and Instagram and all that, and there's links to rent or purchase the film on Vimeo March 6th, and you'll be able to, the fundraiser will be running all of March because it's Women's Month, beach, and yeah, it's great. So please, 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 please do it for me, do it for the youths of Madison.
The youths.
Do it for Kyra. How are you?
I'm good. Again, like, I feel like we're both kind of positive today. I'm a little loopy, but one of the main reasons why it's been so long since we recorded was because the week that we like would have normally been recording, a book that I've been waiting for a long ass time came out, and I was like, Katie, as soon as I have this book in my hands, I literally will not be able to record. So it's right here. It's freaking huge.
Yeah.
It's like a giant book. It's like almost 800 pages for people who are listening. It's A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. And this came out the other week. So as soon as I got this, I had to read it in 2 days because I didn't want to travel with this. Like, this is a heavy book, and I finished it in like, I don't know, like 36 hours. Maybe it was like a very short amount of time that I finished it, and it was amazing. Literally everything I needed and more, and it was just so perfect. And so I was already on a high from that, and then I had forgotten that I had entered a giveaway from my favorite author until my phone lit up and I had a DM from her saying that I had won her giveaway. So Katie and I road tripped to get this one book from her. The author is Penelope Douglas. We had road trip to get that. And I thought, like, this will be the last book that I have to collect of hers. Like, that's really hard to find. But I didn't have 2 of her standalones. And I was like, at some point, I'll get around to collecting those. But I just never did. And then I won 2 free signed paperbacks. So I got the 2 that I was missing. So now I have her full collection. So when I got home, like, these had came while I was gone. And I told my mom, I was like, don't touch these. I need to open these. And I just assumed when I got them, like, I have, like, some of them, I have 2 other books that are signed by her, but they don't have anything. Like, they were in, like, a book box, like a subscription box. It was, like, a special one of those. So I just assumed, like, it would be signed like that. I just assumed it would be like that. No, I opened these up and they're literally personalized. They have my name and like a little message that has to do with like each of the books. I screamed. I was so excited last night. I was already like a little off my rocker because of traveling all day. And then when I saw that, I like almost started crying. So it has just been a great week, or it's just been like a great couple of weeks for books. All I did on vacation was read. I read 8 books while I was gone, and it was just like the best.
Yeah.
I just read book after book, and that's all that I wanted. And it's just been a good time in the book, in my little book world.
Reading in the sunshine, nice little refresh. You came back to like this amazing surprise. I will say I was not prepared because you were like, I'm not going to be available. And I was like, yeah. Like, she'll be available for me, you know? I was like, she's just saying that. She was not available, y'all. You would have thought that I was blocked because I was, like, promoting my film. And Michaela's always, like, the first person to be like, yes, bitch, like, hyping me up. And I'm like, where the fuck is she? This whore really is putting a book before me? She did tell me. I had no room to be upset because she did warn me. She did say. But I was like, wow. She was serious about that. And I was like sending you a bunch of TikToks, dead silence. Also, you and my sister at the same time. Erin and I communicate exclusively through TikTok because we have this shared upbringing that makes our bond. And, you know, just like the memes that really resonate with me resonate with her on like a
Yeah.
deeper level just because of the way we grew up. I sent her, no lie, like 12, no response. And I genuinely got worried. And I texted her, I'm like, are you good? Like, where the fuck are you? I never text her. we don't we don't really talk that much except over TikTok. And she's like, yeah, I just was driving home to see mom and dad, and then we were like catching up, and I was like, oh.
So just all at once, everyone just went radio silent on Katie.
They really did. I mean, geez, it's fine.
I mean, don't say I didn't warn you. I warned everyone. I was like, I am not going to be touching my phone. I told one of our friends too, I always like video Snapchat her throughout the day. And I was like, don't try it.
Yeah,
like we'll send a snap just to keep our streak because we're almost at a year. But I was like, otherwise, don't bother me. I was exclusively only talking to my friend who was also reading A Court of Silver Flames. We were like the only two. I'm like, I am not communicating with anyone else right now. It was a great time. Anytime she releases a book, it's gonna have to be like that. It's gonna have to be like radio set. And also because they're fucking huge. They're like almost 800 pages. So it just takes time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I definitely am back online, everyone.
No,
Katie's like the only one who cares that I like stopped communicating. Everyone else was just like, it is what it is.
Well, it was just the timing of it. Like, I don't know. Every time I get really nervous when I'm promoting something too, because, and especially with this, like there's a lot of pressure for my work to result in garnering of funds for this organization. And so I'm like, mom, like, you know, like the people who normally ride or die for me, like I need these people right now, like mom, dad, Michaela, that's it.
I'm sorry I let you down.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Good thing is she doesn't have another book coming out till 2022, so we're fine.
Okay. Yeah. No, you're good. You deserved that time, and I'm glad that you had your little sunshine moment in Florida and got to do your fave thing, which is read. We're just kind of having a general short episode. Guys, this is going to be like a very quick turnaround. I'm editing this episode today, like after we're done filming, or recording. Sorry. Busy times. But yeah, we're just talking about women in the film and television industry. Women have been involved in filmmaking since it began, and they haven't really gotten the recognition that they deserve. Obviously, that's kind of like the going narrative with women. And like they carried the drive for a lot of films on their back with like the sex appeal and everything. But also there's something about women that I think is intriguing to people. And it's like this calming presence. Sometimes a woman, I'm talking about like the actress side of things, like will balance out the machismo of films. And like back in the day when it was like film noir and like black and white and kind of these like dark, crispier or like westerns or whatever, the female presence in a film, if you don't have that, it's too much of like manly man shooting. And a lot of the times women will, which I'm not saying this is a good thing, but will act as like the softening or the thing that changes the male protagonist and like grounds him and brings him back to earth and like centers him when he's on this like quest or crazy testosterone fueled killing spree. Which again, I'm not saying like is a good thing. Women are often like put in these stereotypical repetitive roles.
You just can't have film or television without women. Like, and you can obviously say the same about men, but like he said, there's just something that women add to films that is almost like intangible at times, where they just make everything better. I mean, I don't really know how to say it any differently. And I think over, even like within, I'd say the past like 5 years, there have been more complex roles for women, because women have always kind of been like the girlfriend, the wife, the side character, and like the emotional support for men. And just now, recently, we've moved into finally like we're seeing like women's superhero movies and more like female dominated stories. I mean, still not as much as we should. And then obviously, we are definitely still missing like inclusivity for people of color as well in those roles. But at least like there are steps of progress being made. So we want to talk about the women who are doing that in the industry and who are kind of like standouts for Katie and I, like whether they be our favorites, whether they're trailblazers and like opening doors for a lot of women. We just want to be able to talk about it. We wanted to just kind of have, like Katie said, like a chill, quicker episode, just highlighting some of the women right now in the industry who are just doing things that are very necessary and are progressing the film and television industry.
You know, we're talking about on and off screen too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's like, we've talked about how Bombshell was a film about like women and the struggle with like sexual harassment and everything, but it was made completely by men. Did it make progress? Did it start a conversation about something really important that we need to be talking about? Yeah. Was it representation for white women? Yeah. But it was a story about women told by men.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that comes this thing that is kind of a buzzword now, but the male gaze, and like how things created by men and art created by men is normally depicted in the way that men view the world, which is not the way that women view the world. Yeah. And when you're telling a story about the female experience, and not just like the female experience, but like the negative female experience of sexual harassment, which a lot of women unfortunately deal with. You're a man talking about it, which I'm not saying men don't experience sexual harassment, but it's based on a true story about women experiencing sexual harassment in the workplace. Men shouldn't be telling that story, like straight up. There are certain stories that like the male perspective isn't gonna allow for like the genuine truth or like authenticity, which again, another buzzword, but like, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up. There's a statistic that the film school graduation rate is 50-50, men and women, but 96% of the highest grossing films are made by men and only 4% are made by women. That like, there's no excuse. There's no justification for that. And like Michaela said, in recent years, there's been more complex stories and female like dominated stories being told, but they're still being told by men. That's not okay. Like we have the exception, like Greta Gerwig telling the story of Lady Bird, and same with like Little Women and everything, and Patty Jenkins making Wonder Woman and everything, but there's still a lot of stories focused on women that are being told by men. It needs the set and like the crew needs to reflect the content on screen.
That just reminded me of that interview with Ellen Pompeo. And who else is she sitting with? She's sitting with a few other actresses. I'm thinking like Gina Rodriguez was there and a couple of others.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
When she was like, the people in this room don't reflect the world that I see outside. She's like, it's great that we're sitting here talking about women, but she's like, I walked in and I didn't see enough people of color and I didn't see enough women. And saying like on screen, she's like, this is great. You know, we have, I think it was like 4 actresses were there. She's like, we have these women here, but she's like, I don't see the real world reflected behind the scenes. Yeah. And I'm like, that was a great call out, because again, like while we're getting that on screen, there's still behind the scenes so much more room for women to be involved in. So
it's very self-serving for these like white male filmmakers to be making a film about, say, like a Black woman or just women in general. Like, yeah, that's the hot thing to do right now, is to like uplift women and tell women's stories, but like, no, that's not your story to tell at the end of the day. And like, again, same with white women, like it's on us. Once we get into the room, we need to bring our sisters of color along with us. Like, it can't stop with, oh, like, good, we have women on set now. That's not enough. Like, we have to use our voices as all women, not just white women. Do you have like women that first kind of drew you into film?
I mean, they're kind of obvious, I think, or not, they might not be obvious, but I think to like Katie or like anyone who listens to the podcast, it's going to be Jennifer Lawrence and Shailene Woodley for me, but they were two of those kind of stars that were around right about our age. Like they were kind of targeted at our age group.
Yeah.
Like they were two of the first actresses that I remember watching and then wanting to know more about them like personally and then becoming invested in them as people as well as their film and television that they did. Pretty Little Liars, Troy and Belisario, who plays Spencer as well. She's another one that I remember watching her, and there was just something about her. I mean, obviously her character is the best. No arguments, people. No. Spencer's hands down the best on that show. But there was just something about the way that she played that character that, again, just, like, drew me into her. I don't know why there are certain actresses that just, like, have that thing for me that I kind of click on to, that even now, like, Zendaya is right there with me. There are just certain people like that that I get drawn into, and I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, obviously, I'll talk about Jennifer Lawrence and Shailene Woodley here in a little bit, but, like, they were the first two that I remember being invested in, like, beyond their projects. Right. And that was, like, at a younger age. That was, like, I don't know, when I was a teenager, probably, like, 15 or 16. That now, obviously, they're still that for me, but I've just, like, added more to the list.
Yeah. It might just be because I'm a woman, but I know that feeling that you're describing. It's, like, that gravitational pull that some actresses have that is, like, indescribable a little bit. And I don't know. I've never experienced that with, like, actors. And I don't know if, like, certain film viewers experience that, but whatever. One of my first on-screen loves was Lindsay Lohan. I've talked about it before, but I remember she was kind of the first for me, like, at a very young age, really just loving her movies and wanting to see more. I couldn't get enough. I loved The Parent Trap, Freaky Friday, Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, like, all that shit. I ate it up. Amanda Bynes was, like, my first, like, comedic draw. Like, I was like, women are hilarious, you know. She was the first person that really made me laugh out loud and made me understand comedy. I was like, oh, this is like, I don't know, I just felt like her comedic tone resonated with me on the Amanda Show. And same with, like, her movies after that, Sydney White and She's the Man and all that.
Sydney White,
they were great. Like, that was the first stuff that I was like, this is funny. This is fucking hilarious. And then Emma Watson too was a big one for me. First kind of like franchise heroine that I fell in love with and kind of wanted to be and like aspired towards, you know. I think every young person has that. Like, for some guys it's Spider-Man or whatever. It's like the first person that's like, they are the sickest, coolest person ever. This is a really weird one, but I loved Anna Sophia Robb back in the day.
I forgot about that. You did.
When I saw her in Bridge to Terabithia, I was like, this bitch is going to the top. And honestly, like, ever since Soul Surfer, her career has kind of plateaued a little bit, which is unfortunate. She was in The Act. She was like a supporting character in The Act. Everything she's in, she's great. So I don't really know why she hasn't had this, like, I don't know. I'm hoping in her middle age years, she kind of like comes out with a Meryl Streep type gravitas, but I've always liked her. I don't know what it is. Yeah. I think Soul Surfer is a great fucking movie. I just really thought that she was going places back in the day, and I still think there's a chance.
You know, you never know. I completely forgot about your obsession with Anna Sophia Robb.
Right? Isn't that so funny?
Actually, I didn't even think like that far back, but you're totally right. Like Amanda Bynes, she was huge for us back in the day. And this is like a random one too, but Evangeline Lilly on Lost, I mean, a little like sus now, but at the time, Lost was like my everything. And I was like so infatuated with her and her character on Lost that I think I had a lot of those from the very beginning of being like just dug in on a certain person. And like, I'm still that way now. If I watch something and I like someone, I watch all their movies or all their TV show or like anything that they're in I want to watch. I watch interviews on them. I look up podcasts that they're on. Like there are just certain people like that have that. And Katie, I agree. It happens more so with women. There are very few men that I have that same level with. I think I can think of 3 that like I have had that with, but it doesn't really happen often. Like the 3 that I have, they're 3 that I've been like obsessed with for years. They're not like newer people where I feel like women to that list all the time, where I'm kind of like, men, no. My 3 golden boys are hearing good, and I'm fine with that.
Okay, so these are like actresses that I love watching now that I feel that same like pull that I felt when I was young watching Lindsay Lohan and Emma Watson. Saoirse Ronan, obviously, easy. We don't even have to go into it. I haven't seen that lesbian one with her and Kate Winslet yet. I don't know if I want to watch that.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that they did that. Kate Winslet was on my honorable mention list because she has been in the game
She
for
really
a
has.
long time. And she has done a lot of different roles, like on and off the screen. And Kate Winslet's a badass. I think
She
like
is.
people only think of her as Titanic, which I mean, granted, that's her biggest role. But she has really created an insane career and managed to always kind of have steady work. I mean, I already just mentioned these 2, so I'll jump into the first one. I mean, obviously, if you listen to the podcast, you know, Jennifer Lawrence, she is like my favorite actress of all time. Yes, it's cliche, but also it's like she's not there for no reason, okay? I think she's popular because a lot of people like her. Like, she's popular for a reason. It's because she can do, like, everything that she touches is gold, pretty much. Even like shitty movies like Passengers, I enjoy because of her, even against Chris Pratt too, which I'm like, she just had a lot to overcome in that movie, and I feel like, you know, she really did it for me. Even in that.
She had a lot to overcome. That is so true.
She just, right from the beginning, I think it started with her like indie roots that kept her from being pigeonholed after the Hunger Games, and the fact that she struck up that partnership with David O. Russell, and she was able to make 3 films with him after that, and have every single one that she was in be nominated. One of them she won for. I think Joy, actually, she won a Golden Globe for too. But she was like very young doing all of that. She was a young actress taking on very mature roles. I mean, Katniss obviously was like a YA, but Tiffany in Silver Linings Playbook was originally supposed to be much older, and it wasn't until she auditioned that David O. Russell was like, I literally can't see the character as anyone but her. She handled that character so well for being so young. That she has such a maturity to her acting that I think a lot of actresses do have to have because of always getting casted older, that you kind of can't not have it, or else you're going to be missing out on a lot of things. And I just think like she can do everything. I do want to see her in a comedy, but I think Don't Look Up is maybe supposed to be a little comedic. I'm not really sure. They just finished wrapping that, and I'm ready for her reemergence.
Me too.
I miss her. And again, she pretty much dominated like the 2010s. Like what we've talked about before, that while I don't think it's actors' responsibility to be outspoken about issues, I do think they should, because they have a platform, and she has definitely used hers to really highlight like the gender pay gap in Hollywood and feminism, and behind the Me Too movement. She was a big supporter of that, as was a lot of women in Hollywood. And now she has like her own political organization just to inform young voters. And I just think like overall, she's kind of like the whole package for me, on screen and off. And she kind of has that old Hollywood mindset of not getting caught up in like press and like constantly promoting yourself and being like influencer-ish. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but she keeps her private life pretty private, and like she's not on social media, which, I mean, no shade to people who are on social media that are actresses and actors. I mean, obviously it helps boost your image, but it just feels very like old Hollywood to me, and I kind of like that.
Yeah, her and Zendaya kind of have the same vibe of like, you can just tell that they want solely just to get better at the craft of acting. They're constantly, that's their focus. It's just how can I be a better creator? They want to learn more, like how can I see producing and directing in both of their futures. And isn't Jennifer Lawrence already producing? So like, and Zendaya's already basically directing, and she produced Malcolm and Marie, so I'm stupid. But
You're
yeah.
not.
And like what you said about watching interviews of people that you really like, Jennifer Lawrence interviews and like compilations are huge on YouTube and the
Yeah.
internet. Like you're not alone in that. She is so beloved, just her personality like outside a film. And that's such a
Mm-hmm.
stellar combination for Hollywood and Hollywood women in particular. I think when you have the off-screen personality and then this amazing talent on screen, it's like this incredible combination of getting asses in seats, basically. Like
Yeah.
you want to see this person that feels like your friend doing their thing that they're really good at. It's like
Yeah.
you going to watch your friend in the high school drama play or whatever.
She's just authentic in that, because there would be no way that she could like keep up that shtick for this long, and that she's just naturally funny
Yeah.
and naturally charming, and that's something that you can't teach people.
No.
Like you can just tell that she innately has it. And she, like you said with Zendaya, like they treat it as a job.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I kind of like that when she's like, I just want to show up, do my job, and like go home and live my life. It just happens that my job is in the public eye. And there's just something about that I'm leaning more towards so now than ever, because I think I'm just kind of over like social media in general a bit right now. That it's just kind of nice.
Zendaya, obviously, I kind of already talked about. Lupita, I can't wait to see her in more stuff. Margot Robbie,
Again, someone who can do it all.
right?
Like
yeah.
superhero, comedy, drama.
Yeah, and it's just like one of those people where if she's in something, I want to see it.
Well, I had Lupita later on in my list, so again, I'll just echo that. Zendaya as well. I think, like, come on, Katie and I have talked about her enough, so we don't really need to get into it, but she's doing it all, and she is also making room for people to tell their own stories, whether it be people of color or different sexualities. Like, she is just one of those people that you know is going to make room for other people when she's in. And she can, like, she can do literally anything. I think no matter what she tries, she could do. Like, she can dance, she can sing, she can act, she can design, she can model. Like, I don't think that there's anything that she can't do.
Yeah. Did you see
So-
that people are saying that she like came out or whatever?
Because of that interview question that
Yeah.
she changed. Yeah.
I think people need to be careful about that. Like,
I think
not
so, too.
everything is somebody coming out. I think with the JoJo Siwa thing, people are lucky that that was her coming out.
Yeah.
She could have just liked the song, but I don't know. I don't think it's fair to be like, she just came out. She could just be trying to be like, let's
More inclusive.
let's ask people what they look for in a partner, or like people.
Yeah.
Let's not assume every woman is looking for characteristics in a man.
I was thinking the same exact thing, because I was thinking back to my my gendered communication class in college, and my professor, she always referred to her boyfriend as her partner, and she kind of addressed that early on in the class. She's like, I'm a cis woman, but she was like, she's like, I'm a cis straight woman, but I call my boyfriend my partner, because she's like, I want to make that more common for people to hear, so that way when other people in the LGBTQ community refer to their significant other as their partner, like, it's not as shocking. She's like, it's just a small thing just
Yeah.
to do, to just like help make it a little bit less odd for other people to hear. I don't know. So I thought the same thing. I'm like, maybe she's doing that to, again, just push for more inclusivity and less like standard norms. So
Yeah.
I'm like, unless if she says something specific and very like,
Yeah.
this is what it is. And
It's
also I'm like,
just-
people, leave it alone.
Yeah, I think it's hard because the gay community is like, we never had any representation, so we just like want more and more people, and like I
Mhm.
get that, but it's personal. It's a personal thing. You can't be like,
Mhm.
she just came out, it's like, that's no.
My other one, which as I said earlier, is Shailene Woodley, and Shailene Woodley, now engaged to Aaron Rodgers. I do not give a fuck about Aaron Rodgers, but what I do care about is that Aaron Rodgers plays for the Green Bay Packers. Katie lives in Green Bay. If Shailene Woodley comes to Green Bay next season, we're on the hunt. Okay, Shailene, please come on the pod.
Please, oh honey.
You would be my dream guest. Anyways, again, she can do it all. She started in the indie roots, but then she was on fucking Secret Life of the American Teenager. She made her way out of that dumpster fire and into stardom. Again, she was like a big YA heroine at the start. I mean, obviously Divergent ended up flopping, but she did her best. There was nothing else that she could have done to try to make those movies good. So it's kind of like a Dakota Johnson in 50 Shades thing. It's like Dakota Johnson is not a bad actress. She was just given bad material.
Right.
Shailene, you deserved better. Veronica Roth, you deserved better. And again, she's just been in the game for a long time, and I think she too sees this as a job, and she knows that like Hollywood is not the end all be all of the world, and she does just as much activism as she does on screen. Or as she does acting jobs. She literally got arrested. Like, she went to the mat for her activism, and she's just a very inspiring person. I think she's someone who, for me, like, that I looked at and I was like, oh, this is how you can like really be an ally to different causes and different groups of people, and how you do it in a way that you need to like show up and also talk the talk, but then also walk the walk. And
Yeah.
I just appreciate her. I just think she seems like a real ass person. Like, I think if you were to ever run into her in person, like, I feel like she would just be nice. You know, there are just certain people that she just has that energy. I love her. She uses her image in the spotlight for good rather than just for like pushing herself and branding herself forward. And also too, she's really not shy about women's sexuality and has been very open about like being naked on camera, and how she's like, that's, if it's her decision, she's like, I don't get why people have a problem with it. She's like, it's my body, and if I want to show it off to make it authentic to the scene, then I'm gonna do that. She's like, I don't know sex with clothes on, so why would I do that on screen?
Right.
And I'm kind of like, you're right, there is like this balance of women being overly sexualized on screen, especially in like sex scenes, and she's very open about being like, if it makes sense to the story, I'm gonna do it, and it's my choice if I want to or not.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence had like a hot take on that too. And it's like, we're in this new age, you know, like all the streaming services kind of have this like they have an opportunity to be showing more and doing more risque, in quotes, thing with like sexuality. And so for so long, women in just everyday life but also in Hollywood have had to maintain this like balance of promiscuity to a certain point, and then like not giving too much away. And like I think Michaela and I have mentioned that we just got finished reading Evelyn Hugo for our book club, and that just like talked so much about and gave so much insight. It's a fictional story, but it's very like truthful about Hollywood, I think, and how like women have to kind of toe this very, very fine line of sexuality, and like how much do you give away, don't give away too much, whatever. And we're in this new age of Hollywood and the film and television industry where it's like women can choose their own narrative as long as it's their choice. Who gives a fuck? I love how I'm talking about this and I'm literally like, what is this look that I'm giving right now?
It's called comfort.
I'm serving very Kermit the Frog right now. Like, if you guys are watching, kudos to you if you are taking me at all seriously.
At least you're not laying down. Like in 50 Shades.
Oh my god, I'm pretty sure I was wearing this exact same sweatshirt. I just like Emma Stone. I just watched La La Land the other last weekend or something. Jack and I are doing this like date night recently where we each like choose a movie and the other one can't say anything about it. So my choice was La La Land because he'd never seen that before, and then we had to watch 1917. Guys, I've officially watched 1917 and it was a little bit taxing on me, but Jack was very sweet and we like paused multiple times for a little check-in, a little regroup and debrief. So it was good. I'm glad that I've finally seen it. It's very well done. Anyways, Emma Stone. I love La La Land. She won Best Actress for that performance, and I think well deserved. I cried. I cry every time I watch La La Land. And then Viola Davis, obviously. Come on.
Yes. I love Viola Davis. Yeah. There's like it's going to sound weird, like a threesome that she is a part of that I want to talk about when we talk about Shonda. Because I already knew you were going to have Shonda on. You have Shonda on your list, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Here
we talk
is-
about Shonda.
Because you know we're going to have to.
Yeah.
I'll then just do my quick mentions of people that I don't want to go, that I don't really need to go in depth on, but people that really stand out women. I mean, I had Lupita on my list. Meryl Streep. I mean, come on. She's done so much for women in the industry. Sandra Oh, get out of here. Get
Just
out of
stop
here,
it.
Sandra.
Just stop
We
it.
love you.
Oh my God.
Patty Jenkins. We already talked about her. Okay, is it Ava DuVernay? That's how you say her name, right? DuVernay?
I don't know.
Director of Selma and the 13.
Oh, yeah.
And When
yeah,
They
yeah.
See Us. Again, just making space for more people of color, like actors of color,
Hell
and
yeah.
telling those stories. Selma,
Get out.
stop. And then lastly, Amy Poehler and Tina Fey.
Yes.
They really turned their SNL fame into 2 insanely successful TV shows for either of them. And then they did Sisters, and they're still like producing. Amy Poehler did Broad City, or helped like Broad City get on its feet. I mean, get out. They're both just incredible and so funny.
Yep. Tina Fey produced the Mean Girls musical, which is just super successful.
I read Tina Fey's book a couple of years ago, and I was just like, I love you. She's again one of those people that she just like has that thing for me where I just want to watch anything that she's a part of.
I have to pee really bad.
Okay, do you want to go pee?
Yeah, we'll just keep recording. I'll be fast.
So Katie's running to the bathroom. Other book thing that I forgot to mention, and I'm going to mention it now because we're going to be covering the show on the pod in April, is Shadow and Bone's trailer on Netflix just came out. Just like yesterday or the day before when we are currently recording this. And oh my God, when I tell you I screamed. This show is going to be incredible, and I really hope, Katie, you're in the bathroom right now so you don't know this, but Katie, I really hope that you love it. If you don't, I'm gonna be sad. But it just, seeing some of this book stuff on screen is just so much cool. I don't know what I pictured for the Shadow Fold, but what I saw in the trailer is way scarier, and I cannot wait. Yes, it was a YA book series, or book franchise basically, being turned into an adult. I think it's being branded as like an adult series. I don't care. I want the darker themes, and I think it's gonna be incredible to see Kaz Brecker on screen in The Darkling. I'm literally gonna scream. I'm going to scream. Kaz Brecker could call me an investment any day of the week, and I would be proud. It's gonna be awesome.
I feel like when people think of old Hollywood, they think of women. Again, I don't know if that's an accurate thing for me to say because I'm a woman. Women in early Hollywood shaped the image of Hollywood, if that makes sense. And this like glamorous, kind of somewhat untouchable, like what Andrew and Meredith were talking about when we had them on the pod a couple episodes ago. It's fun to be a part of this industry because it feels glamorous and like elevated and special, and I think women created that image and have maintained it. And I think Marilyn Monroe is obviously one of the people who people kind of think of when they think of old Hollywood. And I don't think a lot of people have actually seen her movies, but you should.
They know who she is.
Yeah, they know who she is. And if you get a chance, like, you should go watch them because it's really interesting. You know, she didn't have these, like, any monumental, stellar roles, but in today's standards, but back then it was, like, kind of a big deal, the stuff that she was doing. But not even really. She was often a side character, but people loved her just with these little roles that really didn't do a whole lot, like, except serve the male character. She's remembered way more than her male co-stars. Part of that is like the off-screen persona that she delivered. And so, I don't know, I just am very intrigued by her. Judy Garland, y'all know I fucking love. Audrey Hepburn, Grace Kelly, Julie Andrews. I mean, I think she'd be a little bit, she'd be offended if I lumped her into old Hollywood because she is very relevant and more present than these other women that I'm talking about. But like, come on, bitch. She is Maria from fucking Sound of Music. She is Mary motherfucking Poppins. She is Queen Clarice
Rinaldi. And now the voice of Lady Whistledown.
Oh yeah, dude. I forgot about that. I love her. Elizabeth Taylor, get out. Fashion icon. I just had to give an ode to the Sisters of the Past. Obviously, not many women of color unfortunate, not okay. Moving forward, let's do better.
As you were talking about them, I also forgot I didn't include, because I wasn't thinking like of the past, but you're totally right. Carrie Fisher too, I want to throw in there. Princess Leia, I mean, what she did. And also too, just being very open about the struggles that she had. She was just like a very real woman, because as you said, Hollywood is very glamorous, and it was often like these women's images were very carefully crafted to be these like perfect, idealistic women that men wanted. And Carrie Fisher was like, nope.
Yeah.
And I loved and appreciated that. R.I.P. You were such a legend.
Yes.
Forever and ever. Princess Leia. Because I just have one director. So should we do those and then creators last? Because I feel like we're going to have a long discussion, or longer, about Shonda.
Yeah, so obviously, guys, Greta, I've talked about this woman too many times, but also not enough. I love her. She is my muse, my everything, my rock, my guiding, shining star in this tumultuous life of mine. Every creative person kind of has that other creative person that they're just like, that is who I want to be when I grow up. And you all know that Greta is that person for me. And it's a little cliche at this point, I think, but I don't give a fuck. She's done a lot for me as a creator, and just feeling like seen on screen, and the films that she's made just really do pull at my heartstrings. And I feel very represented by her. It's hard for me to put into words what it is about her, because just nothing is enough. I've listened to like every single podcast, talk show, whatever that she's been on, and I just try to absorb everything she says, because like everything that comes out of her mouth, I'm just like, you are a genius in a normal person's body. So
you bring up Greta whenever you damn well please, because it's what you want and need.
Yeah.
I only had one director that I kind of wanted to go in depth on, and she's not necessarily someone that like her public profile is someone that I necessarily care about, but I just think like her achievements as a female director are insane, and that is Jennifer Lee. If you don't know who that is, she is, what I wanted to get her title right, she is the Chief Creative Officer at Walt Disney Animation Studios, and she co-wrote and co-directed Frozen and Frozen 2.
Hell yeah, babe.
And like a bunch, like Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, like any Zootopia, like any recent Disney animated movie, she has had a hand in somehow, some way, but Frozen was like her project. And the fact that I feel bad saying this, that like Disney trusted her with this, because obviously she's a very competent person, but like Frozen was insane. The success that Frozen has had for Disney is absolutely monumental. It is something that has not happened for them, and I don't even know how long, because yes, now they have Star Wars and now they have Marvel, but those were not their projects. And if you're thinking, like, they had the Disney Renaissance where it was like Beauty and the Beast, Little Mermaid, like they had these movies coming out that were big for them. But for Frozen, I don't want to even sound like a Disney freak here, but the amount of success that Frozen has brought to Disney, that they changed rides for it. They have like in the parks pre-COVID, they had like a Frozen sing-along. Anna and Elsa were literally everywhere. Olaf was literally everywhere. Their soundtracks make it onto radio. Frozen's success is just insane. And the fact that a woman helmed that ship, thank you. And she was the first female director to direct a film that grossed over $1 billion at the box office. Snaps and claps, Jennifer. Yeah, I just think she's an overall genius. I mean, like, everything that Disney pumps out is successful, but every single thing that she has had her hand in has been very successful, or in the case of Frozen 1 and 2, insanely successful. So I just think she's awesome, and to be holding that high of a position at Disney is crazy, because yes, Disney's like, we like diversity, but it's like, do you actually? So for a woman to be holding such a powerful position, especially for their animation studios, which has been consistently one of their most successful ventures of the Walt Disney Company, go Jennifer. So
go Jen. You know that TikTok that's like, what feels gay and homophobic at the same time?
Yeah.
I think Disney for sure. Like, that is the first thing that comes to mind every fucking time I see that TikTok. I'm like, Disney.
Oh, shit. That's actually kind of funny. That's actually kind of true. Yeah, they have leaps and bounds to go. I mean, they're getting better, but...
This is kind of stupid, but Beyonce and Billie Eilish are out here directing their own shit, and just those two creators in general, like... who else could direct a Beyonce visual album? No one.
No one.
Just Beyonce. Black is King, get the fuck out. Lemonade, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Same with Billie Eilish, like this child that has this insane like savant like vision. Her songs are so personal. Like her and her brother are making these songs. No one else should be directing a Billie Eilish music video other than Billie Eilish.
Except for her.
Period.
I feel like we can't do a women in the industry episode without talking about Shonda motherfucking Rhimes, everyone. If you already know. I mean, Katie and I, we're big Shonda people. Again, I think, Katie, I don't want to speak for you, but she's someone too that like, along with Greta, that you look at and you're like, that's the kind of thing that I want to be doing.
Right. She was like pre-Greta, before Lady Bird and all that. Shonda was like my idol and what I wanted to be, and this was also pre-Grey's Anatomy, just fucking shit hitting the fan.
But it's not even in her hands,
It's
so
not in
knowing
her
that
hands.
makes me feel a lot better. It's
Yeah.
that Shonda isn't the one running this tank into the ground.
Right, exactly.
It's someone else. I think when you have 3 shows in primetime spots on ABC on a Thursday on network television, and that they brand it as TGIT because of your 3 shows in that slot. I mean, there are no words. And then
No.
the fact that 2 of those shows are starring women of color, again,
Mm-hmm.
get out of here. Scandal is my personal fave. Kerry Washington and Tony Goldwyn, get out of here. You too, Olivia and Fitz forever.
Mm-hmm.
But Grey's Anatomy is a tried and true fave, except like tried and true fave up until basically Sandra Oh leaves. Then
Mm-hmm.
Sandra, you took the good luck with the show with you. And creating Shondaland.
Mm-hmm.
And now her Netflix deal, I mean, now with Bridgerton, how she's not like directly involved with that, but it's under her production company. I mean, she's one of those people that everything she touches, it's gold.
Yeah, and I would just say, even though she's not the writer of Bridgerton, she obviously like read the script and was like producing that because it has the same storytelling qualities as Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, How to Get Away with Murder.
Like, she's insane. What
Yeah.
she can do.
And how she has all
And-
those stories running in her head at once.
Mm-hmm. Like,
There's
to
not many
have
people
those
doing
3
that.
shows going.
Yeah.
And then also, I think she got casting right for these shows too. I mean, Viola Davis, Kerry Washington, and Ellen Pompeo to helm these 3 shows. I mean, if you didn't get those 3 characters right, the shows would have crashed. I mean,
Mhm.
Grey's Anatomy maybe not so much because it is like a very ensemble-driven show. And I
Mhm.
mean, you could kind of say the same for Scandal and How to Get Away with Murder, but I mean, Kerry Washington and Viola Davis are like the heart of those 2 shows,
Mhm.
where Meredith Grey, I don't think was always necessarily... She was always at the center, but I don't necessarily think she was always at everyone watching its center. If
Right.
that makes sense.
The other 2 creators that I just wanted to shout out are Abby Jacobson and Alana Glazer with Broad City. Again, like if you go back in Katie history, right, we have the Amanda Bynes discovery as like Katie's discovery of comedy, that in combination with The Grinch. Obviously, that's like where my comedy was born. And Santana Lopez. But, okay, so that's like the history. And then up until recently, Jack and I were like trying to find a show to watch. And we started watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which people love that show. And I'm just like, eye roll. Like, I don't... Funny dudes, no. Like, let's just know. It's 2020, bitch. 2021. At the time, it was 2020. But now it's 2021. And I could not be bothered. I don't care to see your homophobic jokes, your racist jokes, your transphobic jokes from the early 2000s. No, thank you. I'm fine.
Nope.
I want female comedy, women comedy in inner city New York. Broad
Broad
City.
City, bitch!
Broad City.
I love Broad City. I love Alana. I mean, I love Abby too, but just Alana kills me every single time. The last kind of creator that I want to talk about, I lumped her in with creator even though she is obviously an actress, producer, everything, but she kind of is one of the actresses in the industry that saw that there are not roles for older women and was like, I'm going to change that. And that is Reese Witherspoon. She has really made a career from her acting career to then turning into creating her own production company, buying up these book rights to get these movies made, and she's really done a lot. Gone Girl, I want to say Gone Girl was one of her first projects that she brought up, and she originally wanted to play Amy Dunn, but obviously Rosamund Pike fit that better. And Reese, I love you. I don't think you could have done that role as well as Rosamund Pike. She was tired of like seeing women always be side characters or always being cast as someone's mother growing up, or mother as she got older. So then she started adapting books, which, I mean, a lot of the books that she has adapted obviously are very like female dominated, targeted books. And she was very smart in doing that, because then women love these books and women want to see these on screen. And she's handled all of the adaptations that she's done, I think, very well. I haven't read The Wild, but she did that movie, Big Little Lies, Gone Girl, Little Fires Everywhere. Again, I haven't read or seen that, but she's out here just doing all of these adaptations back to back to back, and go her. And again, every single story that she picks is very female focused and female centered, which I really love. Obviously, she needs to improve on her diversity in queer stories getting adapted and more women of color. I mean, Little Fires Everywhere had Kerry Washington in it, but I'm trying, like, otherwise everything else has pretty much been like white women. So again, like, she's creating room for white women, but she needs to create room for people of color as well and queer women. But she is just like a really great businesswoman as well as an actress, and I respect her hustle.
Yeah, me too. I didn't even
like
think
Reese's
about
book
that,
club.
Yeah.
She covers like every facet that she can. She's constantly marketing herself. She really is like a businesswoman.
Yeah.
And I respect it. And where's Legally Blonde 3, Reese? You've been teasing that for a while.
I know, I was just thinking, from Legally Blonde to where she is now, it's quite the journey. But I love that story, you know, like, you know, just looking at little Hermione to where Emma Watson is now, kind of like retiring from the film industry and just completely being this badass activist. Like, she kind of, I mean, she didn't start the like actors turned activist thing, but like modern day, she was kind of the first one to be like, fuck acting, I'm gonna go get my degree and I'm gonna show these motherfuckers what I know and be a fucking UN representative or whatever. We are coming up on 11:30. I did not think that this was going to be as long of an episode, but here we are. What can I say? We just love talking about women. We should have known.
And we're going to have a good women-filled month coming up, so
stick the fuck around. Next week, we're talking about Moxy, the new film produced by Amy Poehler, right? And she's also in it. It's the new Netflix original film about high school bracket that pits women, young women, against each other and rates them, which Michaela and I have a personal experience with, because if you listen to our episode about the Cheetahs 2 with Miss Delaney Jones, we did mention that a little bit, and how the boys at our high school weren't shit, still ain't shit, besides Jack. Obviously, love you, babe. He did not partake in the debauchery that was the bracket. Also, yeah, the fact that even happened in March, like fucking Women's Month. Basically, the boys at our high school did a bracket every March for March Madness or whatever, but it was like ranking the girls at our school. So we're going to talk about that in combination with talking about Moxy, the film. My birthday, get ready for that. Get ready for Promising Young Women we're going to be talking about. We're hopefully going to have Kyra on to talk about our film that we made together. So it's just going to be a great month celebrating women of all shapes, sizes, ethnicities, religions, sexualities, baby. Get fucking ready. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girl. But anyways, if you are listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure you subscribe, leave us a 5-star rating and review. We got to combat that 1-star rating that we got. People push them down with the 5 stars. If you're listening on Spotify, make sure that you follow us. That way we pop up on your homepage, and make sure that you are downloading our episodes every single week. And then if you are watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, leave a comment. We'd love to chat.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, all of our personal info is going to be in the bio and linked in the bio below for anything else.
Yeah. Please buy or rent Know About Us, the KLJ movement film. Please. It would mean the absolute world to me. All the money goes to the organization, and it's such a great cause.
All right, everyone. We will see you all next week for Moxy.
Lilas.
Lilas.